want to share today is it very well may be. And guys, I know you're like, oh my gosh, he always says it's going to be amazing. Yeah, it's fucking always amazing because I don't waste your time. I'm not here to waste your time. I'm not going to come unprepared. I have spent a lot of time preparing for today's call. I have changed the topic multiple times. And I do this in this call. I do this in the paid group, in the Flat Fee Mastery group, because I want whatever is talked about today to be something you can take and you can make it change today. You can go and implement something today that's going to make you money. Okay. And today I want to talk about this whole concept. And in the title of this stream today, I literally put, you're too casual. You are too casual. And I actually heard this speech, and I've said this before, I'm not a huge Ed Mylett guy and all these other gurus. I'm not a huge, like, in fact, I really don't like listening to him specifically, but for some reason, there was this video that he produced, that he created, called You're Too Casual, and I liked it. And funny enough, he actually was speaking to a group of door-to-door people, okay? And what I mean by that, and I said in the title, you're too casual. And if you are not careful, you are, and I'm talking to you, I'm talking to every one of you that's listening. If you are not careful, you are going to miss what is happening before our eyes. Okay. I remember as a kid hearing the saying over and over and over. Every time I would complain to my dad, I'm like, Dad, I've been working a lot. Holy shit. All my friends they're up like playing PlayStation, hanging out, whatever, Dragon Main Street, whatever we did as kids. I'm like, why can't I go hang out with them? He's like, make hay while the sun shines, son. You got to make hay while the sun shines. I don't even know what the exact phrase is, but some version of that he kept saying. And I was like, fuck, I'm so tired of hearing that shit. Make hay while the sun shines. And I never understood it. I was like, cool, Dad, I get it. But I never understood. And when you're a farmer, when you literally rely on the weather, guys, when my dad he's putting up, because what he does, they like the term hay, it's alfalfa. It's literally this grass. It's its own thing, but you raise it, you water it, you raise it, you cut it, you put it into a bale, and you sell it. You sell it to these dairies in California and all over the world. And here's what's crazy. Okay. And no one if you're not in farming, you won't understand this. If you miss your window with farming, you're fucked. You don't have the whole year to produce crops. You have from May till about October to make all the money for the year. If you miss your window, you're fucked. And what's crazy is if you don't do it perfect, you're fucked. You lose money. And every single time after you've cut the hay, so picture this, you go with these big tractors, you cut it, it's laying on the ground, right? In these rows. If the rain comes, if you miss it and the sun's shining and you don't get it baled up and pulled off the field and put under the barn, and you miss it and the rain comes, every time it rains, you lose tens of thousands of dollars. Tens of thousands of dollars because it sprinkled on the hay. Because it makes the quality of the hay worse. And when they go to test it, it's shit. And then when it's shit, they beat you down on price. And you only have 4 or 5 months to produce all your income for the entire year. So when you hear the phrase, make hay while the sun shines, it ain't some cute bullshit phrase that I used to think it was. It is literally, you got a window and you need to fucking hit it or you're going to miss out. And the winter is going to be long, man. You're not going to have money to make it through the winter. So why am I bringing that up? Why am I talking about making hay while the sun shines? Why am I talking about you guys are being too casual? All of us are being too casual, myself included. And the reason why is this. We literally, I know you guys are going to be like, dude, you're fucking drinking your own Kool-Aid. Of course I am. Guys, in this business model, especially in this group, we literally have the best kept secret on the internet. We have the best kept secret with this business model. Building tiny websites in local niches and renting them for thousands of dollars. Take a minute. For those that are new, that is what we do. We pick a city, we pick a niche, we build some simple website, we do a couple little tricks, boop, pops to page 1, right? If we choose the city correctly, and then we go and rent the website out for thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. And there is no limit to how many of these we can produce. Got a couple questions for you guys. Number one, how many of you wish that 10 years ago, or I don't even know, maybe 8 years ago, you had invested $100,000 into crypto, into Bitcoin? How many of you would give your right arm to go and be able to invest $100,000 in Bitcoin 8 years ago, knowing what it's done? Everyone just raised their hand, right? Another question. How many of you wish that you had bought 10 homes in 2012 when everything was freaking dirt cheap? How many of you wish you had bought 10 homes in 2010? I do. I wish I had done both of those things. How many of you wish you'd bought 10 homes in Florida 2 years ago during COVID, when everything was cheap, when you could buy cheap homes in St. Pete and on both sides, on Miami, the Miami side, the Fort Lauderdale side, up the coast? I wish I would have sunk as much money as possible into real estate everywhere in Utah, well, everywhere besides California, but especially in Florida, right? People ask me this question all the time. You guys are going to enjoy this. I get this question almost every day. Bro, don't you think this shit is saturated? Don't you think this is like, don't you think that rank and rent is saturated? I mean, you're talking about it on your TikTok and your YouTube and your Instagram, and you share it in the group. Don't you think it's saturated? And I literally laugh. I laugh. And here's what I want you to do. When we get done with this call, here's what I want you to do. I want you to go in the next 10 people you see after this call, I want you to go and ask them the following question. And I want you to ask them, hey, sir, hey, mom, hey, dad, hey, sister, do you know what rank and rent is? And guess what? Spoiler alert. None of them are going to know what you're talking about. They're going to go, huh? Rank and what? Rank, what? Rank and rent? No, I have no idea. And then what I want you to do is I want you to say, well, let me tell you what it is. You build these tiny websites. They're really simple. They're 5 pages. You go into small cities, into niches like concrete, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And you can charge $1,000, $2,000 a month. Oh, you own the asset. And guess what? Out of those 10 people that didn't know what the fuck you were talking about 5 minutes earlier, every single one of them will go, damn, that's actually a really good idea. And you're going to go, I know. If you guys think this shit is saturated, just wait. Okay. Right now, the fact that I can say to people, hey, I do rank and rent. And they go, what? That tells me everything. We are in this little teeny corner of the internet, in this little bubble where we think everybody knows what rank and rent, and everyone's, guys, we have not even gotten started. We have not even gotten started on this shit. Okay. 15 years ago, when I was at home, I was probably, 15 years ago, I was 16 years old, 16, 17 years old. And my dad gave me a book. And it's probably a book that you've read or that you've been given or that you've heard of. And it's called Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Phenomenal book, by the way. Phenomenal book. You should read it. And I got this book and it literally blew my mind. I was just that kid that went to high school and played sports and chased girls and dicked off and whatever, all that stuff, right? Got into trouble. And when I read this book, it literally changed my life. Like, I was like, dude, that's the game. And if you haven't read the book, I'm not going to spoil it, but essentially the whole concept of this book is we are in a rat race. The American dream of go to school, get a job, work 9 to 5, get, the white picket fence and the house and the dog and the 2.1 kids, whatever the fuck the statistic is. That American dream, you know what that does? It puts you into the rat race. And what the rat race is unless you go to work every day, you don't live. And how many of you, I'm going to ask you guys this, how many of you, if you didn't go to work for a month, would be able to survive? Okay. The 2 of you that raised your hand can go ahead and put them down now. And in this book, he talks about this thing called the rat race. And the rat race is this, that you have to go to work to make money. And the whole concept of the book is, how do you create enough passive income, AKA income that you don't have to work, you don't have to actively work for? How do you create enough passive income that your passive income is higher than your bills? Meaning, if you don't want to work, you don't have to, because your bills are paid by your investments. That's the whole concept of the book. Okay, that's it. And the whole goal is, once you've achieved this, you are now free. Okay. However, in this book, Robert Kiyosaki, he talks about real estate, buying homes and duplexes and apartments and all this different stuff. That's what he talks about. That's the vehicle he talks about, is physical real estate. And I was like, dude, I'm going to get into real estate. And I bet a bunch of you on this call have heard of that book, read that book, and said the same thing. I'm going to get into real estate. And you read that book, and that's the reason why, is because you want your passive income to exceed your bills. And the problem is, we read this book, we hear about this, and we go, great, but now I got to make money. Now I got to go make money to pay for these down payments on these properties. And the first time I heard about this business model, Rank and Rent, the first time I listened to a podcast, and somebody that had a program that taught Rank and Rent was on this podcast with one of my friends. And I heard this model, and they were like, you build these websites and you rent them, and you keep, I'm like, wait, you keep the website? How? I didn't even know what what hosting was. I didn't know what a domain was, but it clicked. And I was like, yo, that's it. That's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. And I bet a lot of you have listened to this business model for the first time and gone, yep, that makes sense. That makes sense. And I couldn't shake this thing. I kept thinking about it over and over and over. And I was like, oh man, I got to go knock doors to pay the bills. But all I could think about was this concept of digital real estate, building these tiny web. And by the way, this is way before they started calling crypto digital real estate or Bitcoin, all this shit. Now they call everything digital real estate with the metaverse and all that shit. That's recent. But they've been like, we've been calling digital real estate, Rank and Rent has been called digital real estate for years. Anyway, I heard this and I was like, that's what I want to do. For those of you, like I said, that are new, I think that we need to take a moment and just literally think about, like, do you guys understand, if you're just like, you saw a video on YouTube, you saw a TikTok, and you're like, let me check this group out. For those that haven't heard, let me remind you what we actually get paid to do. Okay. For the umpteenth time, we build, guys, think about this compared to regular real estate, where you got all the shit you got to deal with. Number one, we pick cities and niches, and there's a whole process, and you can really fuck that up. So don't be careful. But we build simple web, and when I say simple, I'm talking 5-page websites on Weebly, Wix, it doesn't matter. Okay, we build simple websites. Then we rank these websites, and if we've done our due diligence properly, it's not that hard to rank. Okay, and then we get paid thousands of dollars to rent these websites out. Guess what? We own the assets. Oh, we can do this wherever we want. From Vegas, we can do it from Park City, Utah, while we're skiing. We can do it from West Africa. We can do it from Costa Rica. We can do it wherever the fuck we want. We can do it when we want. You want to be a night owl? Great. You want to wake up early? Awesome. You want to do it midday and sleep the rest of the time? Perfect. And guess what? We can also do it wearing whatever the fuck we want. If I want to dress like I'm golfing today, cool. If I want to wear a cowboy hat, if I want to look like a gym bro, if I want whatever, you can do. That is what we are doing, guys. And here is the very best part. You guys ready for this? It's fucking legal. It's legal, guys. This shit that we're doing is legal. And sometimes I sit there and I pinch myself and I get a deal. Like literally, we got a deal yesterday. We got a deal, and I'm talking about for lead generation. But you guys don't think I'm in this game. I'm in this fucking game with you guys. We got a deal yesterday for lead generation. And we charged this cat $1,500 a month And it's a 6-month agreement. The cost per click on this shit was less than $2. The job size of what we're doing is $20,000. And I'm sitting there going, how is this even real? And I sit there and like have to pinch myself and go, why am I not doing? I have a lot of sites, don't get me wrong. But guys, right now, it's 2022. We are at that moment where getting digital real estate is a land grab. It is a land grab. We're at the point, you guys remember hearing about how crypto was like $100? That's where we're at with Rank and Rent right now. We're at the point where it's $100, and every single person, I promise you in 5 years, you're going to go, fuck, dude, I missed it. I should have done it when it was you could go and build as many as we wanted. Why didn't I build more?